everybody. Welcome to SPX 2024. My name is Joe.
My name's Rusty.
And now with us we have...
Mindy Indy.
Mindy Indy.
Welcome back.
Mindy, you're a third-time guest.
Yes. Oh,
There's
so
not
exciting.
many that have been on 3 times.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
I mean, we've had a few that have been on like 10 or 12 or more. But once
Those are the crazy
you
examples.
hit beyond 2, there's not many.
No.
Oh.
Rarefied air.
Yeah.
Not necessarily valuable, but rarefied nonetheless.
Oh my gosh.
An
well,
elite class.
You guys are so fun. Why wouldn't people come back? Yeah, to chat with friends.
Some
Yes.
people are just busy, and they, maybe
Yeah.
they hated their time with us. You never know. But I will
Maybe.
also say that you are interview 201. You're starting off a new century of
Yes.
interviews.
Oh my gosh, I'm honored.
Well,
A
we
new
are as
era.
well.
Yes.
I almost said you should be, but that's not what I meant at all. I was like, no, that's not what I'm trying to say.
You should. No.
Well, we are.
We appreciate it.
Yeah,
you
we are.
We should be.
Mindy, you have your comics, but before we get into the comics, I want to talk about the incredible and dope portrait that you drew of us.
Yes.
To kind of show off your portraiting skills.
We'll put this up on the digital on the
Yes.
screen.
Yeah.
Woohoo!
And, you can see here, she has this format that she's doing for other people, basically anybody at SPX. Well, you won't be able to get it there, but people here can get it. And she fills you in, and I just think it's incredible.
Yeah.
It's
Mindy,
just
you were
really
very
good.
kind to ask if we could be the sample, which we were honored to be. It was awesome. And then, we actually have it printed out here. We have it on our display set up. And Mindy's doing sketches for people at the table all weekend. And we were just so happy with how it turned out.
Have
It's
you
so cool.
had anybody that you could tell was just really happy with their portrait?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
people love them. Like everyone, like at the show loves them, and yeah, like thank you guys for being up for it because
Yeah.
it's like what I've been doing this year is I've been at whatever event I table at, large or small, I make a template that's kind of like a flyer for the event too. So it's like, when people post it on social media, then it's like, oh yeah, I was here. It's like advertising the event, but also it's a cool memento for them too. And I'm like, you guys are so recognizable. Everyone knows you at the show. And
It
so
does
it's
seem
like,
that way
perfect.
sometimes.
But yeah, it was such a cool idea, such a cool concept because it is a great souvenir from that event. It's specific to the event. And we were saying it reminds us like when you go to like a theme park or any of these special events and they do like these really cool, very specific things that you can take home and remember it by. So it's just great.
Yeah, it's tied to this special event, and it's not just like, well, you buy a comic, it's great, you get to read the comic, keep the comic. But in theory, you can get that comic elsewhere. But
Yeah.
something like
Yeah.
that is tied to
Like
that one
only
place.
for this.
Yes, one of a kind. Yeah.
It's true, and also
you
it is
only
one
at
of a
the
kind
show.
because it's unlikely this person's going to buy another. They don't need 2 portraits.
Yeah.
So it is
Oh,
going to
well,
be one of a kind.
True. I mean, like, would a portrait, unless you change your looks drastically, like
Yes.
maybe you have a new
I
haircut or
lost an
something.
eye. You never know.
I don't know. But meanwhile, where's the fedora? In almost all of the YouTubes, you have a fedora, but it's
I just haven't. Yeah.
I know.
just-
I tried to tell. He's
It's even still
It's
on my
a
shirt.
wrap.
He's
but
evolved past it. I you know what? I
It may
can't-
come back around.
But he's
We'll
also
see.
evolved into glasses.
Yeah.
Oh,
there's just
okay,
changes.
okay. Maybe that'll be for next year.
Yeah,
the
that's
true.
glasses,
Yes.
that'll
You
be
were
your
embodying
trademark.
the need for an updated portrait.
needed something.
I'm questioning it. You are it.
And I'm like, oh, we'll need glasses for the next one. And then another fedora back for the one after that.
Oh,
it's
no.
a constant evolution.
Oh, so you don't want to be identified.
No, I'm trying to stay on the lam. So
So in addition to doing outstanding portraits of people, what else have you been up to?
yeah.
Yes. So I have been creating my Aer Head comic series. So I think, I don't know, the last time I was here, I think I might have had issue 1
I know
out.
we've had you on for number 1. I don't remember if number 2 was existing.
No, because
Yes,
I think when we first talked to you, you were still doing the Kickstarter for number 1.
Oh, yeah.
And then the last time we talked, you had number 1, and you were about to do the Kickstarter for number 2.
Yeah. So number 2, the Kickstarter, it was awesome, and I fulfilled the Kickstarter. I think it was like last year, and now number 2 is here as well. Aer Head
Live
number
in
2.
person.
Yes. So we have number 1 and 2, and so yes, for those who are not familiar, Aer Head is sci-fi comedy about a surfer named Aer that sees the future in his dreams, and one night he predicts that a giant solar flare is going to wipe out Earth.
Scary.
What'll happen?
How embarrassing if he was wrong, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like, you got everybody all excited, and it was just a shooting star.
Sorry to get everybody hyped up, guys.
Wah, wah.
So how's it been continuing the story? Like, because you did this, you probably worked on the first volume for a long time.
Oh yeah.
And then you're done, and you're like, I'm ready to move on to another one. And so it's like a different you making that version of it.
That's true.
What was it like creating a second issue?
Yeah, so like, oh man, it's I'm glad to like move like forward with the story because there's a lot I want to tell. It's like with the characters and with and they go to like different places and stuff but yeah, like I feel like finally I'm organized enough that like issue 2 and now I'm writing issue 3. So these are, because I was not as organized when I was first starting writing.
You can't
Aer
expect to
Head.
be as experienced before you get that experience.
Yeah, like
True.
you're gonna like learn and progress from each thing, so it makes sense. It'll just get more natural and more organized as you go.
Yeah, hopefully faster too. I mean, still like with it's funny because like I had such a clear idea of like what I wanted number 1 to be, and then it's like number 2 was still pretty clear, but then like for the rest of the series, I'm like I have more of a vague idea, and that, but then as I write it, it comes clearer, and I am part of writers groups, so like that's really helpful too. So like, and when you're indie, for those I don't know like what the audience like is here. It's like indie, small press expo, obviously. Yeah. But it's like I've been talking to some people that are like with the larger of the small publishers, and it's like, oh, they have an editor, and like the editor will basically like kind of like shape the story or whatever. But like I find that you still get good feedback from a writers group, and that's very helpful. But you can take it or leave it. It's not like, well, an editor will be like, oh, you should change his character's name, or like whatever, like maybe cut this character out, or it's like, you know, like, but I don't know, like I'd be open to like having. It's like I would be open to experiencing both worlds. I've done it the indie way. I would be cool like working for a larger, small publisher or whatever. But yeah, it's just different. But yeah, like the story formation, you know, like coming together, like in my mind. But like as you write it, it becomes more clear, especially as you like step away from it and then come back maybe the next day or the next couple days.
Having a fresh perspective on it,
yeah, that's super helpful because like sometimes like you're in your own head about it, but yeah, I mean like it just takes time, like any craft, hone the craft.
Yeah. Oh, it is. It's a craft you're honing. You know, just like anything else, with painting or chopping down a tree.
Yeah.
You know, you're going to get better at it the more you do it. You're going to find what works for you. And
with each one, like the lessons you learn that you can then apply. And like you said, just speeding up the process, you know, things where you've already worked out how to do certain things. So now you can just apply those to the general story.
We had an artist friend talk to us yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
Who mentioned how he had been the most productive he'd been in as long as he can remember the last year. And it was all down to taking a tip from an artist that he had gotten from that artist like a decade ago. But he just had never really given it much thought.
Yeah.
And he said one day he was just sitting there and goes, maybe I should try that. And it's just exploded for him.
Yeah, like somebody...
What was the tip?
Oh, well, I mean, I'm happy to tell you. But the point more so was just that he had to get to that point where he could learn and use it. But if he hadn't gone through like the years of not doing it that way, then it may not matter as much. He might not be the same artist. But the tip was, in order to lay out his book, he would do small,
really small thumbnail,
quarter page, sketches of each page in the book, and then recreate that in a larger format. But the artist pal of his said, what you should do is draw it in the larger format, like on regular paper maybe, but sketch it to full size, and then use a light box when you're recreating it, because then a lot of the work is kind of done for you. The spatial, you don't have to, as Rusty put, I think it was translate to the different size.
He would do like
scope.
Little thumbnails in the notebook, and then have to completely redraw that at pencil.
Oh my gosh.
And then do inks. And if he just did the thumbnails at the original size, he's already there now. and so then he could just like ink using a light box over that.
Ah.
And
So
he
for
said it's
him-
like 3 times as
For
fast
him,
for him to
it's
get
just
stuff
been
down.
yeah,
Oh
it's
my
just been an awakening.
Yeah, it's definitely more efficient to do it that way. But yeah, everyone has their own process.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
And in fact, like he had said, he had his process, and this guy made this recommendation, and he goes like, I think I know what I'm doing. I'm good. And then years later, he goes, let me try that, and he was blown away by how well it worked for him.
Great. Success.
So yeah, like, and I was thinking also, you said that you had through number 2 kind of hard like designed in your head, but now it's more open, and that might actually be better because you're going to get better at telling the story. It might be a benefit that you don't have so much of it already planned out.
I think so because like, and even like in number 2, like I had to cut some things out. There's like, these funny little character moments, and it's like, well, I don't know, but like I like that perspective, and that's a good point because I feel like if you did have it like all planned out, and then like wouldn't it be like I wouldn't say boring, but like it takes away a little bit of the adventure of
Yeah, you're into the
creation.
adventure.
It could be boring for you, like where you're like locked in, and you're just like, I'm just going through the motions.
It's
Instead
just
of
like
What if you draw, like, you
execution.
create a character and it just sings for you, like the design or like what it kind of represents in the story, and you're like, no, I really would like to spend more time and make this maybe more of a central character, and all of a sudden they don't matter in the story you've planned out, and you're like, nah, I don't really have a way to do it. So then you start moving things around later on, and it might be better, if like, I guess what the end point, for example, could be, but in between it can be a little blurry.
Yeah.
And it might only be helpful for you.
Yeah, it's the process, it's the journey.
Oh, for sure. And
Yeah,
if you take away that, it's like you're doing yourself a disservice.
Yeah,
You
because that's the
deserve
other
to have
thing.
excitement as well. when
Exactly.
You're making
You want
Yeah.
to enjoy creating it, not just the end product.
Well, yeah, because it's like that's so much goes into comics, and it's like it's awesome to have the end product, but like it's so weird because for so long, like Aer Head was just like an idea in my head, and now it's like, whoa, it's out there. Like I kind of take it for granted. It's like, oh yeah, it's like my Aer Head comic. It's like, oh yeah, whatever. Well, not exactly like that, but like I kind of take it for granted that like it exists like
Yes.
in the real world now, but like. It's also like, yes, like the next one, like onto the continuing, the series, and it's like, if you only worked for the end goal, you'd be disappointed because you spend a lot of time working on not only the script but the drawings, the colorings,
Like a friend of ours mentioned the story one time that he did like books for like younger readers, and so he'd make a graphic novel, like 100 pages long, and it would take like a year to get this done. And the kids, they're not thinking about that. They're just like, oh, I'm such a good reader, So they were like, I read it in 2 hours, or And he's like, oh, great, like. Proud of you and all, but man, I spent a year making that. So
That's why you got to find that joy in the making.
yes,
Yeah,
It's gonna go by.
it can't just be about that end result.
Mindy, would you like to answer a mystery question?
Yes, that would be
Let's
great.
do it. Let's bring in
Fantastic.
the mystery machine of mystery questions.
Do-do-do.
And for this, we must use the big quarter truck. Just
Quarter truck.
Get it
Oh,
across there.
my goodness.
So
How
So
cute.
there's a hatch
If
that
you-
opens
It's
on
a
the back.
recycling truck.
it is.
And what's funny is we recycle all the
We
quarters.
reuse the quarters.
Just
So
use
if,
them over
if
and
you
over.
pop the back open,
Oh my
there you go.
gosh.
Well, I think they just skid it
They
out,
did.
but the convenience is the utmost.
Thanks, quarter truck. Yeah.
Okay.
So-
What is the mystery?
They can,
When I was a kid, I could
There.
open these things.
I would say just pull up on the lip like that.
No, see, just help out. You know the tricks. We've been doing this
We're doing it
for this specifically for like 10 years.
Okay. Cool. Thank you, sir.
Uh-huh.
Oh, use the microphone there. Don't forget.
Oh, there you go.
What's your question?
Okay. What is a new and very cool way to say hi to someone?
Oh,
Well,
what should the kids be doing these days?
what I do, which is probably what most people would not do, and probably because I've lived in New York for so long, like since like 2010, it's like 14 years. I just go. It's like at SPX. I just butt into a conversation. I just like, oh, group of people, are you comics people? It's like they're hanging out in like the lobby or whatever. I'm like, hi. I just like,
So
just
the
like,
cool way of saying hi is to just make it bigger.
just like
go in.
go and like, I would say, first I would ask, are you comics people? And then they would usually say yes, because sometimes they'd be like, oh, I don't know, if they're random people staying at the
Coffee shop or
Marriott.
A reagent of some sort.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, and then I would just introduce myself, say hi, I'm Mindy Indy, and then we go around, and then I'm part of the conversation. So
There
like,
you go.
so it's just really like seeing a group of people, and then like just don't even wait for a break in the guy. Just like go up to them. And just be like, but I'm more outgoing, so like I feel like for someone that's more shy, maybe they may have a hard time with that. But it's like at the end of the day, it's like who cares? It's like, oh look, there's a new person there.
Yeah.
Hello, like.
If they cared that much, then you don't really have to worry about what they care.
And the thing is,
Yeah.
with most groups like that, everybody at some point was that person anyway. You know, they didn't start out with 6 people just standing there. You know,
Not me. I've always been at the center of my friend group. Me.
yes, they all orbit around.
It's just me. I'm pals with myself. Mindy,
Party of one.
as we mentioned pre-interview, we have a new thing for the 2024 interviews, and that would be our prize gallery.
Oh yes.
Very
Now,
exciting.
You've already kind of spied some things that might be of interest, but I'm going to run through them for you anyway.
Okay.
We have a set of 4 coasters. We have a pot holder, a deck of playing cards, a placemat. We have a box of puzzle pieces, which will be a whole picture when done. We have a tea towel. We have a blanket, far too large to unfurl on camera, but the 200th
huge.
interview, they chose the blanket, so we were able to
so
see it in
big.
its full glory.
Oh my
we also
gosh.
have a pillow. We have a keepsake box in which you can keep your
Sakes.
you keep your sakes in
That's
there.
right.
We have a ceramic mug and a shopping bag. Mindy, which prize would you enjoy?
Oh my gosh, I am definitely going for the hot pot holder.
Nice.
Oh, the pot holder. Your
Yeah.
hands will be safe.
Excellent choice.
For the days to come, I guess. I don't know. That's
Oh my
fine.
gosh. No, it's perfect because it's like I cook all the time, and
Nice.
it's like and as you guys were mentioning before, it is specific to the
Yes,
to
it
the
is.
object.
That's why we put our head on as many things as possible. No one can take credit other than us. Or take the blame, but mostly take the credit.
But that design, yeah, very specific to the item. So that's
Where
good.
can people find your comics or find more about your comics online?
Yes, MindyIndy.com. That's MINDYINDY.
Oh, fan. You didn't want
Excellent.
to do two I's in the middle? M-I-N-D-I-I?
Ah.
Anyway. All right, well, thank you
Yes.
so much for sitting with us for interview
Yes.
201.
Woohoo!
Fantastic.
Yay! Oh, and thank you guys too, for everything that you do. And
Oh, yeah.
yeah, like it's great chatting, and yeah, I hope you have a great rest of the show.
You
You do
too.
too.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Done.